I want to be completely honest with you about something before this video even starts. I went into this experiment fully expecting to be disappointed. I have been in this space long enough to know that drugstore, anti-aging products come with very bold claims on very small budgets, and that the gap between what the packaging promises and what the product actually delivers is often wide enough to drive a truck through. So I set a strict rule before I started. Every single product had to cost under $10. No exceptions. No cheating with a product that was $9.99 at one store and $30 everywhere else. Under $10 available at a regular drugstore, and tested on my actual skin for a minimum of 2 weeks each. What I found genuinely surprised me. 2 of these 5 products performed so well that I have permanently added them to my routine, and will not be going back to the more expensive alternatives I was using before. One performed better than I expected, but with a specific caveat that you need to know before you try it. One was completely average, not bad but not worth your money either. And one, the one that makes the biggest claims on its packaging, was the most disappointing of all 5, and I want to make sure you know exactly which one it is before you spend even $10 on it. Stay with me because product number 4 is the one that genuinely shocked me the most, and it is probably not the one you are expecting. Welcome back to Radiant at Every Age, the channel where looking radiant after 60 never requires spending more than your skin actually needs, and where we test things honestly so you do not have to waste your money finding out the hard way. If you are new here, welcome. This channel is built entirely around the belief that great skin and great style after 60 should be accessible to every woman regardless of budget, and today is one of the most directly useful videos we have made toward that goal. I am so glad you are here. To my returning viewers, thank you for coming back. You have been asking for a drugstore review for a long time, and I wanted to make sure I did it properly before bringing it to you. 2 weeks per product, real skin, real results, no sponsorships. Let us get into it. Before we start the reviews, if you have not subscribed yet, please do that now and tap the bell because we are posting new content every single day this week, and you do not want to miss what is coming. And while you watch, I want you to drop a comment telling me your favorite drugstore skincare product because after this video I am planning a community favorites follow-up, and I want your recommendations in there. Now let us get into the 5 products. Before I walk you through each product, let me explain exactly how I tested them, and why the testing method matters for this specific age group. Most drugstore product reviews you find online are written by or filmed by women in their 20s and 30s whose skin responds to active ingredients very differently than skin over 60 does. A retinol product that produces minimal irritation on a 28-year-old can produce significant sensitivity on mature skin. A moisturizer that feels lightweight and absorbs quickly on younger skin can feel insufficient and drying on skin over 60 that is already producing less natural oil. So every product in this review was tested exclusively on my skin, which is skin over 60 with the specific concerns most common in this community. Dryness, dullness, uneven tone, fine lines around the eyes and mouth, and loss of firmness around the jaw and cheeks. I applied each product consistently for 2 weeks following the instructions on the packaging, and I paid attention to 4 specific things. Texture and absorption, immediate effect after application, visible difference over 2 weeks, and how my skin felt by midday, not just immediately after applying. Those 4 criteria are what this review is based on. Let us go through all 5. Product 1, Olay Regenerist Microsculpting Cream. Price, around $8 to $9 at most drugstores. Let me start with the one that most women in this community have probably already heard of because it comes up constantly in conversations about affordable anti-aging skincare, and I wanted to test it properly to find out whether the reputation is actually deserved. The texture of this cream is the first thing you notice. It is thicker than most drugstore moisturizers, but not heavy in a way that feels suffocating on the skin. It absorbs within about 60 seconds of application, which for a cream at this price point is genuinely impressive. No pilling, no residue, no greasy finish. Just comfortable hydrated skin immediately after applying. Over 2 weeks, the most consistent and visible change I noticed was in the texture of my skin specifically. Not dramatic plumping or lifting, the packaging implies more of that than the product delivers honestly, but a genuine smoothing of the surface that made my skin feel more even under my fingers and look more refined in the mirror. Fine lines around my eyes looked slightly less etched by the end of the 2 weeks, and my skin held onto its morning hydration noticeably longer into the afternoon than it did before. My honest verdict is that this product does what a good daily moisturizer should do exceptionally well at a price point that makes the expensive alternatives genuinely hard to justify. The claims about micro-sculpting are marketing language more than reality, but underneath that language is a genuinely solid daily moisturizer that works well for mature skin. Worth every penny of the $8 or $9 it costs. Product 2, Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Retinol Serum. Price, around $9 at most drugstores. This is the one that comes with the caveat I mentioned at the beginning, and I want to be very clear about what that caveat is before anything else. Retinol is one of the most well-researched and consistently effective anti-aging ingredients available, and the fact that this serum delivers a genuine retinol concentration at under $10 is remarkable. Over 2 weeks of consistent nightly use, I noticed a visible improvement in the overall evenness of my skin tone, and a slight, but genuine reduction in the depth of the fine lines around my mouth. Here is the caveat. Retinol on skin over 60 requires a specific introduction protocol that this packaging does not fully explain, and that most women do not know about. Mature skin is significantly more sensitive to retinol than younger skin, because our barrier is thinner and our skin turns over more slowly. Starting with nightly application immediately as the instructions suggest, produce noticeable dryness and slight flakiness around my nose and chin in the first 5 days. The fix is simple once you know it. Start with twice weekly application for the first 2 weeks rather than nightly, and always apply a generous layer of moisturizer over the top immediately after the serum. Once your skin has adjusted, which takes about 2 weeks, you can gradually increase to every other night, and eventually nightly if your skin tolerates it well. With this adjusted introduction protocol, this product genuinely delivers results that rival serums costing 5 to 10 times more. Without it, it can produce irritation that puts women off retinol entirely, which would be a shame because it genuinely works. Product 3, L'Oréal Revitalift Derm Intensives Vitamin C Serum. Price, around $9 at most drugstores. Vitamin C is the other ingredient alongside retinol that dermatologists consistently recommend for mature skin because of its proven ability to brighten uneven tone, reduce the appearance of dark spots, and support collagen production. The question with drugstore vitamin C is always about stability, because vitamin C is a notoriously unstable ingredient that degrades quickly when exposed to light and air, which is why it typically comes in opaque or dark packaging at higher price points. This serum comes in a tube rather than a dropper bottle, which actually helps with stability by limiting air exposure each time you open it. The texture is lightweight and absorbs quickly without any stickiness, which made it easy to layer under my morning moisturizer. Over 2 weeks, the most visible change was in my overall skin brightness. Not a dramatic transformation, but a consistent, genuine improvement in how even and luminous my skin looked in the mornings compared to before I started using it. A dark spot on my left cheek that has been there for years appeared slightly less prominent by the end of the 2 weeks, which for a $10 product used for only 14 days is honestly more than I expected. My honest verdict is that this is a strong performer for the price, with one practical note. Use it up within 3 months of opening. Vitamin C begins to degrade once the tube is exposed to air repeatedly, and an oxidized vitamin C serum not only stops working, but can actually cause more uneven tone rather than correcting it. At $9 a tube, that is a very manageable timeline. I need to pause here for just a second because product 4 is coming up next, and it is the one I called the most surprising result of the entire experiment at the beginning of this video. But before I get into it, I want to ask you to do something. If this kind of honest, no sponsorship review is something you want to see more of on this channel, hit that like button right now, because it tells me directly that this content is worth continuing. And if you have a friend who has been spending a lot of money on anti-aging products and wondering whether drugstore alternatives actually work, send her this video today, because what comes next might genuinely change what she buys next month. Okay. Product 4. Product 4, ELF Holy Hydration Face Cream. Price, around $5 at most drugstores. This is the one that shocked me. Not because I expected it to be bad, but because at $5 I expected it to be perfectly adequate and nothing more. What it actually turned out to be was the product I looked forward to applying every single morning of the 2-week test, and the one that produced the most consistent positive feedback from people who saw me in person during the testing period. The texture is extraordinary for the price point. Rich without being heavy, creamy without being greasy, and it absorbs into mature skin in a way that leaves a visible dewiness rather than a matte or flat finish. The ingredient list includes hyaluronic acid and peptides, 2 ingredients that earn their place in anti-aging skincare, and that I did not expect to find in a $5 drugstore cream. Over 2 weeks my skin looked consistently more plump and hydrated than it had with the more expensive moisturizer I had been using previously. Not dramatically transformed, but visibly and consistently better in the specific way that matters most for skin over 60, that comfortable, well-hydrated look that lasts from morning into the afternoon without the tight or flat feeling that sets in when your barrier is not properly supported. At $5, this product represents what I can only describe as an almost unreasonable amount of value. I went back and bought 3 more tubes the week after my testing period ended. That is my most honest possible review. Product 5, Revlon Age-Defying Firming and Lifting Cream. Price, around $9 at most drugstores. And here is the disappointing one. I want to be fair because disappointing in this context means it did not deliver what its packaging promises, rather than meaning it is a bad product in every sense. The texture is pleasant and it absorbs without issue. As a basic moisturizer, it performs adequately. The problem is that the packaging makes very specific claims about firming and lifting that 2 weeks of consistent use did not support in any visible way. Not even slightly. The skin around my jaw and cheeks, which is where I paid closest attention given the firming claims, looked identical at the end of 2 weeks to how it looked at the beginning. This is not entirely surprising because genuine firming and lifting require either retinol, peptides, or professional treatments to produce visible results, and this cream contains neither in meaningful concentrations. What it contains is a pleasant blend of moisturizing ingredients that do their job as moisturizing ingredients, but simply cannot deliver what the marketing language promises. My honest verdict is that if you need a basic moisturizer, and this is what is available to you, it will do the job. But if you are specifically choosing it because of the firming and lifting claims, please save your $9 for the ELF Holy Hydration Cream we just discussed, which costs half as much and delivers twice as much visible result. So here is the final summary of all 5 products after 2 genuine weeks of testing on real skin over 60. The Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream is a genuinely excellent daily moisturizer that earns its reputation at $8 to $9 and makes expensive alternatives hard to justify. The Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Retinol Serum genuinely works but requires a slow introduction protocol that the packaging does not explain. Start twice weekly, and always moisturize over the top. The L'Oreal Revitalift Vitamin C Serum delivers real brightness improvement at $9, but needs to be used within 3 months of opening to stay effective. The ELF Holy Hydration Face Cream, at $5, was the genuine surprise of the entire experiment, and the product I would recommend most enthusiastically to every woman in this community who wants excellent hydration without spending more than she needs to. And the Revlon Age-Defying Firming and Lifting Cream is a perfectly adequate moisturizer being sold with claims it simply cannot support, so save your money for something that delivers what it promises. Total cost of the 2 products I would most strongly recommend from this list: $14. That is a complete morning moisturizing routine, including a vitamin C serum for $14 total, and the results are genuinely visible. If you have tried any of these 5 products, I want to hear your experience. Drop a comment below and tell me which one you have used and whether your results matched mine. And tell me your own favorite drugstore skincare find, because I am genuinely collecting recommendations for the community follow-up video. Like this video if it saved you some money today, subscribe if you have not already, and share it with a woman in your life who has been spending more than she needs to on her skincare. I will see you tomorrow.